In order to do so, stand in normal posture. Slouch if you normally do, and do not pull yourself too erect if that is not your normal posture. Be relaxed and roll your neck if you have to, and roll your shoulders to release the tension if you must. Wear clothes that are comfortable on you, and wear them how you want them to wear. Pull up your pants to where they should sit or where you want them to sit. Do not wear jeans, shorts, or other ill-fitting pants, and do not wear any clothing that has lycra or other stretch materials. Do not wear clothing that is stretchy in any way, and do not wear any tight clothing. Do not wear Spanx or other spandex clothing, and do not wear anything that pinches, shifts, or reshapes your natural body shape in any manner. If possible, please measure in inches. Take all measurements in exact detail. You should not wear jeans or shorts to take measurements. Jeans are too low and shorts might hang too much. Are you ready? Let's do it. Measure around the largest part of the bust, with the arms down and shoulders relaxed. Look straight ahead. Measure around the torso at the largest part of the bust, typically at the nipple line. The largest part of the upper body is typically at the nipple line. Measure around the upper chest, as high as possible under the armpits. Relax the shoulders. This measurement is across the upper chest and not across the nipple line. Go up as high as the armpits will allow. Make sure that the tape is as high as possible across the back. Make sure there is no excess give in the tape. Go around the tape with your other hand to ensure that the tape is lifted as high as possible at the back and under the armpits. Do not measure loosely. Measure around the rib cage just under the bust. This location is several inches above the natural waist and is just under the bust. Measure exactly. Do not measure loosely. The tape should be straight across at the back. Measure around the narrowest part of the torso. This is typically under the rib cage and several inches above the navel. On a larger person, measure where the waist naturally comes in, typically several inches above the tummy. Measure around the tummy where it bulges out most. This is typically around the area of the navel. Measure around the upper hips at the location where the buttocks begin to bulge outwards. This is typically a few inches below the stomach. Measure around the widest part over the widest part of the buttocks. Make sure the measurement tape is straight and horizontal and does not slant down on one side. For larger persons, the upper and lower hip will be about the same measurement. Measure at the top of the shoulder, starting at the tip of the point where your arm ends and the shoulder begins, on one side to the corresponding location at the other side. Do not go beyond the outermost tip of the shoulder. Women's jackets and shirts typically do not have very wide shoulders. It is important to relax the shoulders. Follow the bone on the shoulder to where it stops. Measure up across the top of the shoulders. Do not measure low across the back of the shoulders. Measure from the point where the shoulder and arm joins down to the desired length. Add a ½ inch for padding and/or shrinkage. Typically, English-style sleeve length ends a ½ inch below the wrist bone. Continental-style sleeve length is longer and ends at the point where the thumb starts, where the palm starts to widen out. Actual sleeve measurement can vary depending on the ordered style. Measure the neck circumference at the widest/thickest part of the neck. Measure as low as possible on the neck. Do not measure high up on the neck. Put a finger between tape and neck for comfort. This is to be measured from where the arm hits the side of the chest on one side to the corresponding position on the other side. Do not measure into the armpit. Do not measure too deep under the arms. Just measure where the arm and the upper chest meet in front. This should be measured on the chest, from where the arm hits the side of the chest at the nipple line to the corresponding location on the chest at the other side. Do not measure into the armpit. Do not measure too deep under the arms, just measure where the arm and the nipple line meet on the chest at the side of the busts. Measure from where the arm hits the back across the back to the other side. Do not measure into the armpit. Do not measure too deep under the arms. Just measure where the arm and the upper chest meet in the back. This measurement typically is 1 to 2 inches smaller than the full shoulder measurement. Measure from the side of the neck where the neck joins the shoulder, straight down to the tip of the nipple. Do not follow the line of the body. Measure vertically straight down and keep the tape taut. Measure from the side of the neck where the neck joins the shoulder, straight down to the natural waistline. Do not follow the line of the body. Do not measure down the side of the bust. Measure vertically straight down over the bust up to the line of the natural waist. Keep the tape taut. Measure horizontally across from the tip of one nipple to the tip of the other nipple. Keep the tape taut and straight with no slack. Measure from where the shoulder and neck meet at the highest point, down the front of the torso to the desired length in front, typically an inch above the crotch level or in line with the wrist for a standard length jacket. The actual length of the garment will depend on the selected style. The tape should always go over the bust and the tummy. It should not go down the side of the bust. The measurement ends at approximately the height of the wrist. For people with extra long or short arms, the jacket length should just reach the top of the crotch, approximately the bottom of the zipper when wearing pants. Note that this is for traditional hip-length jackets only. For longer or shorter jackets, measure to the desired length or according to the selected style. Measure from the nape of the neck, vertically down the center of the back up to the natural waistline. Slouch normally. Do not pull yourself too erect. The small of the back is where the back starts or stops to sway/curve a few inches above the start of the curvature of the hips. Measure from where the shoulder and neck meet at the highest point, down the front of the torso to the desired length in front. Typically 4 to 5 inches below the trouser's waistband. The final length depends on the style ordered. Measure from where the shoulder and the neck meets the angle of the neck and shoulder. Straight down over the bust and tummy to around 3 inches under the top of the pants waistband. Measuring to the waistband will result in a short vest. For square bottom vests, measure to 2.5 inches below the top of the pants waistband. For standard vest length, measure to 3.5 inches below the top of the waistband. Make sure the pants are being worn at the correct location when measuring for the vest length. Ideally, the vest should cover the pants waistband completely. Measure from the bottom of the neck at the back, where the neck and back meet above the back of the shoulders. Straight down to the spine to the bottom of the waistband. Make sure the pants are being worn at the correct location when doing this measurement. Ideally, the vest should cover the pants waistband completely and should be at least 1.5 inches below the top of the waistband at the back. Measure from the side of the neck, where the neck and shoulder meet to the desired length. This depends on the style. It could be mid-thigh length, knee length, mid-calf, or ankle lengths. Measure over the bust and tummy straight down. Do not measure down the side of the bust. Measure from the base of the neck down the center of the back to desired length. The final length depends on the style ordered. Measure around your waist at the location where you wear the pants. It is important to keep the pants at the position where you want to wear them. Do not wear jeans or shorts to take this measurement. Jeans are usually cut too low and shorts might hang too much. Only wear dress pants so you can see where you really like the pants waist to sit. If the pants you wear are too tight, or if you are unable to slip at least one finger between the pants waistband and your body, it is suggested you unbuckle your belt and undo the pants waist so that the body is not being crushed in. Measure as close to the body as possible. Slip the tape measure under the waistband so that you are measuring directly on the body. Make sure there is no slack on the tape, and also make sure to keep one finger between tape and the body. Measure from as high as possible between the legs, straight down the inside of the leg, down to the desired length of the pants. Measure to the bottom of the heel of the foot when not wearing any shoes. This will give a full break to the pants. For a less break, reduce by a half an inch. If wearing shoes, measure to the top of the heel of the shoe. If wearing no shoes, measure to the bottom of the heel of the foot, or to the floor for a full break. Measure as high up the crotch as possible without being indecent. Make sure to have as little slack as possible on the pants crotch. This can be done by pulling up the pants at the sides, much like a skirt, so that all excess slack in the crotch is lifted up and the crotch of the pants is comfortably sitting against the body. If you are uncomfortable taking this measurement, we suggest taking the measurements off of a pair you are comfortable in. Measure from the top of the waistband in front, down between the legs, and up at the back to the top of the waistband at the back. Make sure that there is minimum slack at the crotch. Make sure the legs are properly spread apart, and pull the measurement tape snug at the back to remove all the hang. Make sure to have as little slack as possible in the pants crotch. This can be done by pulling up the pants at the sides, much like a skirt, so that all excess slack in the crotch is lifted up and the crotch of the pants is sitting comfortably against the body. Measure the circumference of the legs at the thighs. Make sure that you have one finger between the thigh and the measurement tape. Measure the finished size of the thighs for a well-fitting pair of pants, to be taken around 2 inches below the U-crotch joint. This will determine the preferred looseness or tightness of the legs. Measure to the bottom of the heel of the foot when not wearing any shoes. This will give a full break to the pants. For a less break, reduce by ½ inch. Make sure the pants is sitting exactly the location where you want to wear them. This is important as this affects the measurements of the pants length. Do not measure to the front of the foot. Measure down the side to the floor or bottom of the heel of the foot. If wearing shoes, measure to the top of the heel of the shoe. If wearing no shoes, measure to the bottom of the heel of the foot or to the floor for a full break. Measure the circumference of the body at the location where you wear your skirt. Typically, this is your natural waistline or slightly below measure, close to the body, and follow the belt line. Pants waist and skirt waist in most of the cases are not the same. Measure the circumference of the body at the location where the hips start to bulge. Typically 3 to 4 inches below the belt line. Tape should be snug with one finger between tape and body. Natural posture. Measure the circumference of the fullest part of the hips, typically at buttock level. Tape should be snug with one finger between tape and body. Measure from the skirt waistline to the desired length. Measure from the side vertically down the side of the leg. Typically till the location of the knee for standard office length, around 1.5 inches above the knees for an above-knee skirt. Flex the bicep muscles taut and at a maximum firmness, and take the measurement of the widest part of the bicep. Take exact measurements. From the side of the neck, where the shoulder and the neck meets, to the tip of the shoulder bone.